Jimmy Juice is a product that I've used for the past couple of years. Let alone does it give my pig a shine like no other product. It smells bussin'. Literally, it smells like oranges. It is incredible. They've also got a product called Jimmy Suds. That's my new go-to for soap. Check them out at jimmynaturals.com and use code JOSHOW, no spaces, all caps, for a discount on your next order. What does it take to compete? What does it take to win? In the ring, in the barn, at life. Everyone that has a vested interest in the livestock world knows that good stock starts from the ground up. That is what Big Paw Lifestyle is. Big paw, hoof, or foot means a good foundation to any species of livestock, and it will mean a good foundation for you. Big Paw Lifestyle is a brand you'll see me wearing all the time. They've got awesome clothes, and I especially love their hats. Check out their latest styles at bigpawlifestyle.com. Hey everyone, this is Joe, and welcome to a special edition of The Joe Show. You know, my state fair is one of my favorite events during the year. It's just the atmosphere that I love, the food, and seeing my friends and all the livestock. I thought it would be fun to chat with some state fair winners from across the United States. Winning a class or a division is a big deal on a state fair level, let alone winning your state fair. So I wanted to dig into what makes these winners at the top of their game and what separates them from the pack. So come along on this part one of 3 parts as I talk to 2 state fair champions. First up is Macy Norton from North Dakota. She had the Champion Breeding Gilt at the North Dakota State Fair. And then we'll wrap it up with Montgomery Bertram, who had the Champion Market Animal at the West Virginia State Fair. So grab a corn dog, and here we go. Thanks for joining me, Macy. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Ellendale, North Dakota, and I'm 15 years old.
All right. So, one of the reasons why you're here today to talk about your Champion Breeding Gilt at the North Dakota State Fair. Congrats. Tell me about that gilt.
So we knew from the start when we first saw her that she was going to be a pretty good pig. And with the help of feeding from Kathy Schmitz and like all the work put in, it was pretty cool to actually win a show at State Fair.
Awesome. Where did you get your winning gilt at?
So we got her from Bachmeyer Show Pigs, and we had Ryland Bachmeyer, which is he is like the one who pushed his dad into like breeding all of these pigs.
You bet. That's amazing. So, how did your other pigs do at the show?
So I had 2 other pigs, and they were both barrows. I only showed one in all the other shows, and the other one we didn't think was going to do very well. So we only showed him in one show, which is the Top of Dakota sale, because we bought him from that sale. And my other barrow, he didn't do as well as we hoped, but I'm hoping next year that I'll be able to do good with a barrow too.
For sure. That's an awesome goal. All right. So when you're in the grand drive, did you know that your hog had a chance to win going into the ring?
I knew that she was a pretty good pig, but I wasn't positive that I was going to win because there were also some very good-looking pigs.
Mm-hmm. All right. What special things did you do or not do leading up to the state fair to make sure that your gilt stayed healthy and was in perfect shape?
So I walked her every day, rinsed her off every day, and washed her like 3 times a week, I'd say, and just kept on feeding her, make sure she had cold water running through her water, and yeah.
All right. Who was in your pig crew on show day?
So I had my dad, my mom, my siblings, and a family friend, Kathy Schmitz, and then both of her daughters who helped us through like all the years we've had pigs.
So, do you show other livestock?
Yes, so the only things that I show at State Fair are goats and pigs, but I also show horses, chickens, rabbits. Yeah.
Okay. If you were gonna show something else, what would it be? Because you basically show it all, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'd probably say like a steer or like a heifer.
All right. Tell me about your state fair, why it's awesome.
So I got two grand champions and then three reserve champions in the goats and pigs. I got a grand champion with my goat, grand champion with my pig, and then one reserve with my breeding doe, and then two reserves with my breeding gilt.
Have you been to any other state fair?
I haven't gone to any other state fair, but we did go to one other show other than our county fair.
What was there like a name for the show?
Well, it was
Just a jackpot.
just like it was in Carrington. I mean, there wasn't really a name for it.
Yeah. So, does your state fair have any rules for showing that you wish didn't have?
So one thing is you have to enter your animals like at a certain point before there's a deadline. And I wish that you could just like show them like right when the show starts. You didn't have to like sign them up or anything.
Yeah, I get that one because with 4-H specifically, you've got to be on the top of all of those deadlines to nominate and then register. And there's a ton you have to sign up for ahead of time. It's got to be stressful. I know my cousin a few years back didn't get something submitted right, and she couldn't show at her state fair, which was a big deal. So I totally get that. So tell us about your family, how you got into and how you got into showing.
So I have two sisters, and how we got into showing was my dad grew up showing, and he just kind of put us in 4-H. And then our first thing we got, I think the first thing we showed were goats. And then we eventually just like got chickens and rabbits. And then pigs, we've only been showing for like 3 years.
Dang, 3 years and you've already won your state fair? That's cool. What's your favorite thing to show?
I definitely say the pigs are my favorite.
Yeah, me too. Now we're gonna play a little game called Would You Rather. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather be YouTube famous or TikTok famous and why?
That's a tough question. I'd probably say TikTok famous.
And why?
Because I feel like more people watch TikTok instead of YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree to that. All right. So for next year plans, when will you start looking for new pigs?
We'll start looking for them like I guess as soon as they're old enough to tell whether they're gonna be like awesome pigs or if they're just gonna be like decent pigs. We'll go down to the people who we get pigs from and then we'll go and like look at all of them and then we'll like pick out some and then at the show or at the sale we'll pick out the ones we like and then we don't always get the ones because they go for like really expensive, but
Yeah. Do you name your pigs
yes.
or your animals? What do you name? What are some of your animals' names?
So my breeding gilt, her name was Clover. And then my two barrows this year were Popcorn and Truffle. And then my goats were Finn and Sprinkles.
And Sprinkles. All right.
Yes.
And now you've won the breeding gilt show. What's your goals for next year?
So I'd say that I would like to do as good with a barrow that I did with my gilt, and then also try to like win not just the 4-H show, but like the open shows with my gilt and barrows.
All right. So, do you play any sports or what do you like to do for fun?
Yes. So I'm in basketball, volleyball, and track.
Which one's your favorite sport?
I definitely say basketball.
Who's your favorite player in basketball?
Um, in the WNBA, I probably say Caitlin Clark, just because she's a amazing shooter.
You a Hawkeye fan?
Uh, yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I'm an Iowa State fan. I'm a big Iowa State fan. Yeah. So do you watch the WNBA a lot?
Um, just started recently.
Yeah. Okay. But you're right. Caitlin Clark has been awesome for the sport, and it's pretty cool she came from Iowa. So you said you show other species. Uh, where do you get them from? Do you breed them or you buy
So
them?
the goats, we breed them, and then we like take the top. Well, just me and my sister show. So we take like the
Mm,
top 4 to 6, and then we show those ones, and then we like sell the rest.
yeah. All right. Well, that should do it for this interview. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Talk soon. Well, that was pretty fun talking to Macy. I thought I'd hear a North Dakota accent talking with her, but she could have passed for an Iowan pretty easily, I think. Who I was able to catch a little accent from was with Montgomery Bertram. She had the champion market animal at the West Virginia State Fair. Hey, Montgomery, tell us about yourself.
So my name is Montgomery Bertram. I'm from Wheeling, West Virginia. I currently am a sophomore at Lakeland College. Um, I am an ag transfer major, and after I finish Lakeland, I hope to transfer to a 4 year and eventually get a job in the livestock industry.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for joining me. All right. You've had a heck of a summer being awarded the champion market animal at the West Virginia State Fair. Congrats. Tell me about that steer.
So his name was Smash, and he was probably of all the steers I've shown, he definitely had the most laid back personality. He was really fun to just go out and work with every day. So he was raised by Greg Sharp, and then I bought him from Jeremy Barber's phone bid sale. Um, Dylan Frazier really helped me and my family find him and just make sure we got him bought. But he was a really fun steer to jackpot, and he did well at those. And then State Fair was the main goal, and obviously he got that done.
Did you do any other winning at other shows with him?
He was reserve main at a jackpot in November, and then um, also reserve main at a jackpot in February.
Very cool. That was nice. You got some longevity out of him. All right. Did you show anything else at your state fair?
Yeah, so I had a crossbred heifer, and then a couple market lambs, a couple pigs, and then a goat.
Nice. How did you do with all of them?
So the heifer was reserve commercial, and then my goat was fourth overall heavyweight. The pigs were second and fourth in their classes, and then the sheep were second and third in their classes.
That's a pretty good fair. Who's in your pit crew at shows?
So at State Fair on the steer, me, Dylan Frazier, Joe Beckett, and Wes Ritchie were involved in getting him fit and clipped. And then my parents do a lot of the behind the scenes also. I couldn't do it without them. And then Jeremy Barber was helping at some of the other shows. Most of the time, it's me and Dylan getting him ready or getting the calves ready. But so yeah.
All right. I've I don't think I've ever been to West Virginia yet, let alone your state fair. Tell me everything about your state fair. Oh,
So
what's it like?
so West Virginia is a little bit smaller of a state fair, but I think the top end is still pretty high quality. Um, we uh, I don't get over to the carnival much, but um, I think there's some pretty good rides over there. We had a really good concert lineup this year. Lainey Wilson, Hardy, Young Gravy were just a couple of them. Um, there are some pretty good food stands that I like to visit in between the shows.
Yeah, I would go to some of those concerts. I know my mom for sure would go to Hardy and maybe Young Gravy. All right. Besides showing livestock, what else do you enjoy doing?
So most of the time does go to showing livestock. Um, but when I'm not showing, I like just spending time with my friends or even just I like being involved in like the prep of the sale animals or just helping other kids get their animals ready, like fitting and clipping, things like that.
Cool. I get that. Most of my downtime is connected with livestock somehow. Besides livestock, do you do anything else at the fair?
Um, not really, just with all the different species. I don't have much free time, but that the showing is really what I want to do.
Hmm.
Um, I I didn't make it over to the carnival this year, but last year I went over with some friends and had a good time.
Yeah. So you said there was some pretty good food stands. What's your favorite food there?
So this year I the food stand that I visited most often was called Fork It Me Not. They had a really good mac and cheese. And they put you could get chicken or shrimp in it, and they put like some kind of sauce on the top. It's
Hmm.
very good.
Mac and cheese. That sounds familiar. It was on our top five best foods at the state fair. It was called like a deep fried mac and cheese sandwich. It had like mac and cheese, pork, I think, and it was all deep fried. It was really good.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think I had I think I had it just about every day at State Fair.
Nice. What's your favorite go-to product with livestock? Do you have a favorite sheen soap product? What's the best one for you?
So on the cattle, I use show coat through the summer. I think it's always worked really well for me. That's what I used on Smash. Um, I use the show coat and then I use the shampoo that goes with it.
Who got you into showing?
So my parents, before I started showing, we raised some cattle, and so my parents are the ones who got me into it. And my first project was a lamb, and then my second year I started showing cattle and just got it rolling from there.
What's been the most rewarding part about showing?
So for me, um, raising raising my own animals and having success with them is just a great feeling knowing that everything that went into them was because of my decisions and my work and just all the hard work and sacrifices um, that we make to get the banner.
That's really cool. Not a lot of kids could say that they raise their own livestock and actually do good with them. Kudos to you. In your opinion, how do we get more kids into the livestock industry? Get them into showing? And what holds families back, you think?
I think a big thing that might be holding families back could be the money aspect. Just buying the animals and the feed and all the all the equipment that's needed to raise and get the animals ready. Um, but I think it is all worth it just with all the opportunities kids have, all the people they meet. Um, I think showing livestock can really make a big impact on a kid's life.
I can agree with that. Well said. Tell us what you like to do for fun and what else are you involved with?
Last year, I started school at Lakeland, and I was on the judging team for my freshman year, and that was a really good experience, and I'm glad I did it. I met a lot of new people. I've made a lot of new friends at Lakeland, and I'm really glad I made the decision to come out here, even though it's a little bit of a drive from home. Um, I've been able to work for some different breeders and just gain some more experience and knowledge on the animals and just how people do things out this way versus at home.
Okay, we're gonna play a little game called Would You Rather. So,
Okay.
would you give up social media forever or eat the same dinner for the rest of your life? And why?
Um, I'd probably give up social media just because I don't think I could eat the same thing every night. Probably get a little bit
Yeah.
old.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to agree with that. So what's next for you?
So after I graduate Lakeland, right now I'm looking at transferring to either Iowa State University or Western Illinois. Um, my plan is to be an animal science major. And then once I graduate the 4 year school, I'm hoping to get a job in the livestock industry and just kind of give back to the younger generation and hopefully help the younger kids achieve their goals.
That's awesome. I hope you pick Iowa State. Uh, where do you get your goats, lambs, and pigs?
So the goats, I've bought all my goats from Nick Pudliner. He's up towards Fayette, Ohio. They've always been really helpful and just coming to all the shows and always answering my questions. And I'm really glad I started buying from them and I made really good friends there. My pigs are from Ryan Kephart, and then Crosby Jackman helped find one of them this year. Again, they're also really helpful with everything. And then the sheep, most of the sheep I show, I raise. I got one from Randy Hill this year, and then my speckle is from Nick Fowler in Ohio.
All right. What breeds of pigs do you show? Like only Durocs, only crosses, like
So
which this year?
at our state fair, they just show them by weight. So
Okay.
I've only shown crossbreds. Um, if we did have breed shows, I would probably look into getting some breeds. But since it's just three weight divisions, I just stick with the crossbreds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every state is so different in how they handle classes and breeds. Our state fair had an increase in purebreds, thanks to some support from the Iowa Purebred Association. But yeah, it's different everywhere. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to say if there's any younger kids listening, if just stay motivated and don't lose hope if you don't think you'll like ever have the success you want, because when I started showing, I was the kid that was at the bottom of the class, and like my first couple years I was lucky to get a top 5 or something like that, and I just kept working and just talking to people and learning new things and just eventually kept climbing up.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you so much for saying that. It's easily to get down on yourself and or want to quit when things don't go your way. So I appreciate that. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Yeah, thank you.
So those girls were great to talk to. It's so fun to learn how different state fairs can be across the country. Something unique about both Macy and Montgomery had in common was they're all around good livestock showmen, whether it's cattle, pigs, or goats. They have that drive to win, and I love that. So that concludes part 1 of 3-part State Fair series from the Joe Show. Tune into part 2, where I talk to 2 winners from the same state of Ohio. Holden Levan, who had the Champion Market Beef, and Olivia Risler, who had the Champion Purebred Gilt at the Ohio State Fair. Talk soon.